So today we're talking all about these. It's an ND filter, a neutral density filter. So we're going to talk about what is an ND filter, what does it do, and why do you need one? In this video, I'm going to be answering all three of those questions, and this will help you step up your photography and filming game. And I'll even leave you some tips at the end, so stay tuned. So let's start with that first question. What is an ND or neutral density filter? An ND filter is a filter that screws onto the end of your lens, and it acts very much like a pair of sunglasses do on a sunny day. It cuts down on the amount of light getting to your camera sensor. Now you can get ND filters in all sizes and levels of darkness. Now the ND filter that I use is called a variable ND filter. And that means I can change the level of darkness just by turning the filter. Now this filter that I have has 8 stops of darkness. So depending on how sunny it is, you can modify and change just how dark that filter is. And that really leads us to our second question, which we kind of already touched on, which is, what does an ND filter do? What is it used for? So as we said, an ND filter reduces the amount of light that hits your camera sensor. And this is important because it gives you more control over your camera settings. And it specifically gives you more control over your exposure. And that leads us to the third question we're going to answer. Why do you need an ND filter? Well, as we just said, an ND filter gives you more control over your camera settings, especially the aperture. Now, lowering the aperture lets you get a more shallow depth of field when you're taking pictures or videos, or it helps you get that more of a blurry background, or what they call bokeh. Now, if you don't have an ND filter and you're out shooting on a sunny day, the lower the aperture, the more blown out or overexposed your film is going to be. And this is where an ND filter comes in handy. Now, with the ND filter screwed on and in place, it reduces the amount of light. And this will allow you to keep a lower aperture setting when filming and taking pictures. So the ND filter allows you to get a photo or video with a very shallow depth of field on a very sunny day. An ND filter can be used to control your shutter speed. And the longer you have your shutter speed open, the more motion blur you get. It also helps you to take pictures, long exposure images of water or the sky. And so that's why an ND filter is important. Now I use an ND filter on all my equipment. I have it on my camera. I even have an external lens for my iPhone that has a screw-on ND filter. And even my drone, the DJI Air 2S, comes with a set of variable neutral density filters. They come in sizes like 4, 16, and 32. So as I mentioned before, you can get ND filters in different levels of darkness, or you can get a variable ND filter, which is 2 pieces of glass, and as you turn it, it gets darker. And this allows you to get the perfect amount of light when you're shooting. Now, neutral density filters, ND filters come in all levels of darkness, and you can find these on Amazon, and they vary in price. You can get some that start at $25 and all the way up to what I want in the future, which is the Peter McKinnon variable ND filter, and that can run up to $299. Now, I'm not ready to spend that amount of money right now. I'm just now beginning, but that's a goal of mine. So look at adding to your gear an ND filter, because it allows you to be able to shoot longer and at different times of the day. Most of the time we're trying to shoot early in the morning or at golden hour because of the amount of light. But with an ND filter, it allows you to even shoot in bright sunny days. So if you don't have one, I suggest you get one. It's a great piece to have with all your equipment. So thanks for joining me today and finding out everything you needed to know about an ND filter. I've got one as part of my kit, and I think you should get one as part of your kit too. So until our next video, see ya.